This is Gilbert Andrew Garcia. Listen to my radio show, A Tip from Gilbert. Talk, inspiration, and prayer every Monday from 11 a.m. till noon on Houston's gospel leader, KWWJ. 1360 AM and streaming live on kwwj.org. Listen on the legendary KYOK 1140 AM and streaming live on kyokradio.org. KCOH 1230 AM, The Source. On San Geek Radio 95.1 FM 1460 AM. And Aliento Radio 101.7 FM and 1540 AM. Call in at 832-570-8075 and follow me on social media. See you then. This is Gilbert Andrew Garcia, Talk, Inspiration, and Prayer. We're here live, as we always are, every Monday from 11 to 12, and I've got some great guests I'm going to talk about. I've got some great clips we're going to be playing. Play one of those clips, producer.
Castellanos.
Here it goes. Here it goes.
There goes the runner. Fly ball down the right field line. Tucker comes on. Kyle Tucker.
What a
this
moment.
Time they finish the
World
job.
Series champion.
The Houston Astros, world champions.
Woo! Just like that. Can you imagine that? I have two guests with me, and we're just like in awe looking at our players. All these, you know what? No matter how old you get, and this and that, when you're just,
the better chances
start the
going
young
to the
man, the young boy comes out at you,
right away,
and there they are hugging each other and celebrating.
Right
It's
unfortunately,
fantastic.
Right
I have a lot of millennials with me today. Give it up for millennials. Now, I don't even know exactly what a millennial is, other than y'all got it going on. And I have Ms. Laura Hidalgo, who is the chief of staff for the millennials, and I have Ava Acosta, who's a 7th grader, and we're going to talk about millennials in a little bit. We're going to talk about the Astros. We're going to talk about all these exciting things, and we're going to talk about voting. And the reason is the numbers just aren't good enough, and I want to talk about that in a moment. So you're on A Tip from Gilbert, Talk, Inspiration, and Prayer. You can call in, as you always know you can. This is the People's Radio Show, 832-570-8075. Call up about anything. And we know what? We may not get a single caller, because I think all of Houston and all of the whole, Houston, Beaumont, everything around this area is going to be at the parade. And we're going to be at the parade too. We're going to try something in a moment. So let me just add, Laura, tell me about millennials. What is a millennial?
Millennials, that's a question we always get it, right?
Yeah, what is a millennial? Like, what is the age group for millennials?
Ooh, between no later than 41.
So are you like 20s to 40s or 30s to 40s?
So 20s, late 20s to all the way to early 40s.
And who makes these terms up, like millennial and Generation Z and X and baby boom? Who made up those things? Who knows these things?
All these generations, right?
Do you know? Do you know who knows that?
Probably, honestly, everyone that has Instagram or like a social media knows like what a millennial is, or like Gen Z and stuff like that.
You know what? She just like slammed me just then, because
social media.
It's like saying old guy. It's like all of us who have social media. Of course, you don't know what a millennial is, because what do I know about social media? Except I want to know about social media. Ava, tell us what goes on in 7th grade nowadays.
Not a lot. Probably just having a lot of fun before you get to like high school and have to like be more strict. Just trying to have fun, doing work that we can.
Very good, very good.
No worries.
No worries. Well, let's go back, because I know the millennials have events all the time, and I know we had a big event this past weekend, a health summit. Laura, what went on with this health summit?
That was so amazing. It's our first year that we're doing our health fair for the community. We continue growing. We continue doing big things in the community and the city of Houston, which is one of my biggest passion. Anything that we can give back to the community is amazing. Especially everything with health is so important. With everything that we just went through with COVID and all the different situations that are happening nowadays, it's so important to be on point with your health.
I thought it was interesting because we were at HCC. I went, and there were so many booths of all different kinds of health people, health things. I thought it was wonderful. How did y'all get all that together?
Look, it's a whole team of work. You know, we just put a whole committee together, and we just put all the ideas on the table. We have great people, great input, great leadership. Oh my gosh, we are so blessed with our leaders. Everybody putting a little bit of ideas and effort and a lot of work.
Wonderful.
A lot of work, and
Well,
we made it happen.
It
so it's
shows.
great. Yes.
It shows. Well, there's one thing I want to talk about, Houston, and that is voting. Because you have to remember, Houston, that, you know, people fought for the right to vote. I mean, they fought. They got beat up. They were, you know, ostracized. Their houses were ransacked. Some of them were killed for the right to vote. And here we are with this precious right. And I think a lot of us take it for granted. And I think a lot of us often say, well, you know what? My vote doesn't count. But guess what? It counts. It counts.
Yes.
Especially in a tight race. It really counts. And when people say, well, what does it matter? I mean, first of all, we're going to be electing judges. And these judges, whether you believe that somehow judges are letting people out and they don't deserve to be, or whatever side you are on that argument, I'm not going to get into that argument, as much as the key about the judges is you want people that has some empathy for people and human beings, that can really be fair. And I really think you got to focus on making sure those are the type of judges we're electing, because we elect our judges. Not every state elects them. Some of them are appointed. And so we've got to make sure we elect these judges and we vote all the way down the ballot.
Yes.
And then, of course, we have all of our other races. And I was stunned to see that, first of all, the voting turnout in this mid-cycle means you're not voting on a presidential year. So remember, the president is every 4 years. So the mid-cycle means every 2 years after the presidential election, and then 4 years from there. So it's in between presidential elections. Did everybody get that, or did I confuse myself? Okay,
Makes
good.
sense.
Thank you. So if these are the presidential years, you're in between. And so the last time was 2018, and the early vote that I saw for this early vote is well below what we did in 2018. Well below. And what's worse than that is more people are registered, more people are eligible to vote, the population is growing, so naturally it should be getting higher, not lower. So what's happening? Why do you think people don't vote?
Look, I honestly don't understand that. I'm Hispanic and Latina, and I'm also American. The minute I was able to vote, I was so excited to just be able to do that and to choose and to understand like everything that is happening here in the United States. And to me, is so important. And I always push, like, especially our generation, and that's why we're having a lot of our events. We have the voting registrations tables there, because we want to make sure everybody understands the importance of going to vote and actually going and do it. And I heard those statistics and it blew my mind. And I actually we did at the event at Houston Community College, and that was one of the places for early voting this year. And I went there the last day of the voting, which was Friday. It was huge. It was like a 2.5 hour wait. It was a big line.
Kidding.
So hopefully those numbers went up. I was excited to see people there in the line ready to vote. I took my mom. She's 75, so obviously we got it done, and it's great. You know, I push like my whole family that is able to vote, and like, come on, let's go. Like, make sure you go vote. And it's so crucial. You know, I think we need to communicate even more, and I think we need to talk about it even more. Like, people, and especially with the early voting, it's so easy to go to the places. But if you haven't voted, definitely go Tuesday. You know, it's your day.
Well, here's the thing I saw. So when you look at the different age groups, the age group of seniors, 65 and older, they have the highest turnout percent. They're like at 50%. And of course, unfortunately, the lower you go in age, the more it drops off. And I was just so disappointed when I saw that those that are in the, 18 to, I forgot the exact amount, 26 or 30, the voting turnout is barely 10%. That's it.
That's
and what's terrible about that is, these young folks, and I don't know if those are millennials or pre-millennials or they're the Zers or whatever they are, but at the end of the day, they're going to, do you like that, Zers? I don't even know if that's a word. But at the end of the day, this is going to be their city. It is their city. This is going to be their world, their country. They need to get engaged now, and they need to vote for the things that they care about now.
Exactly.
And they need to be conditioned now, because people think, well, what do these elected officials do anyway? Well, at the end of the day, all of us pay taxes, right? Whether it's our income tax, where you make so much money and then you got to pay the IRS, or whether it's sales tax. Every time you make a purchase, so much of that goes into sales tax. There's taxes around things like if you buy cigarettes or something like that, there's taxes on that. There's taxes on your property. If you own a home, property taxes. So all these tax dollars go into like a bucket. And at the end of the day, these elected officials are deciding how that money is spent. So if you want that money to be spent in a way that you think is important, well, my goodness, make your voice heard, right? That's what's going on. And we've got to get people voting and get them going. What do you think? How can we get young people? It's going to be your generation. Have you ever voted with your dad or voted with anybody, someone to see how it looks?
I think so, no. I think it's my parents like to be they like to be what's the word? Private with their voting.
I see.
So I don't take after like just go to that person they're voting for just because they're voting for. They want me to have my own independence. To say like, oh, I think this person is better, but they might think that person is better.
Right.
So they don't want to say, oh, since they don't want me to think that if they chose that, I need to choose.
But do they take you to go vote to at least see how it looks and
no,
how it works?
I've never been to.
Oh, wow. Well, you need to go.
Yeah, that's probably what we need to start doing.
To learn, yes. And, it's interesting because, there are so many other countries where they make it so easy to vote. And here we're making it harder to vote. I don't know why that is. We are the cradle of democracy here in America. And, it seems to me if we can buy a car online, we can get food delivered. I saw on the University of Houston campus this little robot looking thing delivering food. It was just all by Did you see that?
Yeah.
I mean, it was just of course, I had to get in there and get in its way to see if it would know I was in its way. Of course, I mean, you can't, what can I tell you? At the end of the day, if we can do all these incredible things, we can put a person on the moon and we can do these extraordinary things. My goodness, can't we make it to where people can vote? I don't know, on the privacy of their home computer. We have all these apps that do everything. Yeah. I can send money around the world. I can clear checks. I can do everything. I can check my balance, but I can't vote on an app. Why not?
I didn't even know you could. I thought you could.
No, you got to go and wait in line, and
why
there you are.
Like that?
Well,
we have everything on there. You can easily just
inquiring minds like ours want to know. And so my view is we've got to find a way to make it easier to vote. And we got to find a way. I don't know if young people, when they get their car license, make them register to vote at the same time.
Yeah.
If they're getting a license at 16, well, why not get them registered? I don't know. I guess I have a different mindset.
I agree with you, though. I think, the way to just make it so simple, like that line, I'm glad people show up to vote that, last day of early voting. But for me is if you can make it easier, why not?
You should always early vote.
Yes.
And guess what? You can vote now anywhere. You can go to any polling place. I forgot how many there are. There's I don't know. There's a bunch all over the city of Houston. And this is what you got to do. I know we have a caller there. Do we have a caller there? Oh, it already faded. They'll call back. And caller, I know you faded. 832-570-8075. Call in. Let us know what you're thinking. And by the way, we're doing something fun. I don't know if it's going to be pulled off right, but we're trying. We're sending 2 of our crews out to the parade with cameras and microphones, and we're going to hopefully try to cut in and have people interviewed right now. But if we don't get it right, we'll at least have it recorded, and we'll play it next week. And so that's what I see all kinds of people already emailing me and all kinds of things. Charlotte, is that Charlotte? What does Charlotte say? She's calling the show. Charlotte, calling the show. That's great. Hannah, I see Hannah. What does that say? Go. Let me see. Oliver, let's go vote. Way to go, Oliver. Oliver Rodriguez. That guy's everywhere. Dr. Stanford, what did Dr. Stanford say? Good morning, Gilbert and guests. How about them Astros? Boy, that's exactly right.
History for Houston, for sure.
That's exactly right. Boy, there's so many. Here's Ernestine Peña about awesome Astros. You know, it's funny how a team, sports, can really bring a community together.
It's so amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
I love it.
It's like during Katrina, how much the city of New Orleans rallied around the New Orleans Saints, how the Saints meant so much to them, and it really brought people back together. We do have a caller here. Let's see if that's the caller, if it was Hannah or someone else, because we're taking all callers. So hang on one second.
It really does bring the community together.
Right? Speak to us.
So I was like, we were driving down the street. I go to a middle school. I don't know if I'm allowed to say which middle school.
You can say.
Westlake Middle. Shout out. Anyways, I saw like 3 kids that were in Westlake Middle, like, and I was like, that's like around what 25, 30 minutes away. I'm like, they're all the way over here for the parade. So it really is bringing the community together to celebrate the Astros.
It's just amazing. We have a caller here right now. Let's go ahead and bring in Jesse. Jesse, you there?
Yeah. Yes, sir, Mr. Gilbert.
Is this Jesse as in Jumping Jess?
Yes, sir. This am I talking to the Texas Bond King?
Yeah, you know, don't get my wife going because she's like, Texas Bond King, don't forget to take out the trash. So I don't know about this Bond King stuff. But at the end of the day, I appreciate that, Jesse. Jesse, you know, of course, everyone knows that Jumpin' Jess is, you know, he's famous, right? He was the morning show host. He and the Chorizo crew on Ka, which is the largest, and it was the largest Tejano radio station, frankly, in the history of Tejano music here in Houston. And everyone would listen to him, and they would, the boogeyman, and they would just yuck it up. Jesse, what is going on? Did you hear my stats about voting turnout and that the early vote is lower than last time? Did you catch that?
Yeah, I've been catching that everywhere. And somebody put out results in all the state representative districts, and they're all falling behind, you know, at least by 20 or 30%. And so they're trying to get the state reps right now to get their people out to vote. You know, everyone is there. I mean, some of us, like Christina Morales, are working hard. She's got the highest numbers, but there's others that are, I don't want to mention names, are falling way behind. They need to work harder to get their numbers up. And sometimes, you know, there's conspiracy theories say that sometimes our own state reps don't want our people to get out to vote because they don't want people too involved, or they don't want people running against them. And, you know, you hear all kinds of things, and I really don't think that's true. But, you know, I think the problem with our voting, Gilbert, is you're looking for your answers, is that we need to make it a tradition. One time I had a seminar and put it together, and that really hit me, that we need to make this a family tradition. I like the idea of kids, their parents taking their kids out to vote. We need to make it like a wedding, a quinceañera, like, you know, graduating from college. We need to make it a family tradition to go out and vote.
I agree.
I think that's right. Now, Christina Morales, I mean, she's exceptional, right? She's fantastic. And I don't know if it's just in the DNA of that family or is it just her, but she's just everywhere, and she's always doing things in her community, and she's always doing these food giveaways, everything. She's such an extraordinary public servant. So it doesn't surprise me one bit to connect someone that's so visible, that an extraordinary public servant, and always doing these events, that they would have the highest voting turnout of one of the districts. That makes perfect sense to me. And so
she puts her money behind her district and her constituents, and where the others you don't hear that much about. But Christina's doing the food drive. She's doing the school supply drive. She's always doing something to help the seniors or the kids. She's always doing something, which really, you know, makes a big difference when you invest in your community.
Well, stay with us, Jesse, because I want to see, Mr. Producer, can you play that home run for us? Do you have that clip there for us? Stay with us, Jesse. I want to play, because this is one of those days where here we go. Wait, go back. You start I wasn't ready to cut me off guard. Wait, okay, here we go. Ready?
Series. The better chances start going to the hitter. And you saw he knew right away. Everybody in this crowd knew right away. And unfortunately,
look at that.
Right,
can you imagine? Like, how far was that?
Oh, very.
I still get goosebumps. So amazing.
No.
It's like 450 feet or something like that. That is amazing.
I think we didn't think your name, Gilbert, for the home run fixes 19.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you. And look how they come out on the field. I mean, they can't even contain themselves. That's how exciting it is. What a wonderful moment. I'm going to tell you all a secret. I have the pleasure tonight. We're raising money for Incarnate Word Academy. And there's like, I don't know how many, like 5 couples or something. And we're having dinner with Jose Altuve. Can you believe that?
That is so cool.
So yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, it's like, golly, I wonder what he likes to eat. I mean, he's like,
Probably a good steak. He's Venezuelan. I'm Venezuelan. So.
There you go.
They love meat.
Don't they?
Good steak.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, those of you who are seeing this on my social media, you can see the players, the excitement. It's just amazing.
So cool.
Well, Jess, let's go back to something, Jess, if you don't mind, because this is now, on a serious note again. I saw where the voting turnout for seniors is close to 50%, and the voting turnout for that 18 to, I think it was 26 or 28, I don't remember exactly the cutoff, was barely 9% or 10%, Jesse. What do you think that is, Jessen? I mean, you've been out there, you've knocked on more doors in Houston than probably more people even can count. Why do you think that is? And how do we get those young people to recognize this is their city?
I think a lot has to do with the media. The media plays a big part. It's with the young radio stations. It's with the hip hop stations, with the MTV crowd. They don't do enough to motivate these people to go vote. Yeah. They can move them to go buy Nikes. They can move them to go buy concert tickets, but they don't get involved in moving them to go vote. So I really blame it on the media, Gilbert. And I think it's the media's fault to not make it more important, make it more valuable, make it more of a life choice.
Yeah.
Well, one thing's for sure, the media ought to be playing, please go out and vote PSAs all the time. I mean, they should just do it as a public good, but they don't even want to do that anymore. You don't get PSAs anymore. They should be running them all the time as a public good to be able to say, if you've got a license that you have, the ability to broadcast and, control and not control, but influence the minds of so many people, you have a public responsibility to do some public good with that above and beyond just earnings for the shareholders. And so ultimately, I just think they should be running these PSAs all during early voting, and we should make them do so.
Yeah, you're right, Gilbert. I want to thank you because you put your, I'll put your money where your mouth is, where, you invested in radio commercials. You've been investing in signs and to let the people know they have to go out and vote. And it made a big difference. We teamed up with you and some other people, and we got we opened a new voting site we were working on for 12 years. And we got, started off as 100. Then we started doing flyers and commercials and signs like the ones you put out. And now it's up to about 300 voters on the last day, Friday. So I want to congratulate you and everybody else that was involved making it all happen. So thank you very much, brother.
Well, you're welcome. You got my studio audience going. There's no doubt that when you can get the community energized, magic happens. And that's the Denver Harbor, the multi-service center there that you're talking about. And that's where I voted. And ultimately, our whole firm made it a firm outing. And about maybe, 15, 16 of us went to vote at the same time. And we had a blast.
That's so great.
We had a blast.
Yeah, and that's another thing, Gilbert, like you said, I think we talked about it in other countries, like in Puerto Rico, they take out the school off that day. They take work off that day so everybody can go vote. So that's what we need to do too. We need to open things up where businesses closed or school closed, so there's no excuse so people can go out and vote. In Puerto Rico, they vote over 50%, and that's one reason why.
Well, I know in El Salvador, they're trying to really make it easy to vote, and they're trying to let people, their El Salvadorian citizens that are here and that have dual citizenship, allow them to vote here in the U.S. and in El Salvador. I mean, can you imagine that? What a great
That's
idea
great.
by that president. And it's because he's different. He's young, he's energetic, he's aggressive. And, you can have your detractors and this and that, but you got to give him credit for thinking differently and for trying new things. They're really trying to adopt Bitcoin as one of their allowable currencies. And whether you think that's a long-term currency or not, at the end of the day, he's trying, and it's an extraordinary experiment.
Yeah.
So we'll see where it goes. But I give him incredible credit for trying these things. I think we have another commercial there. Do we have my little thing when we went to vote? This whole episode is gonna be on voting or Astros. So if you call in, you got to talk about voting or Astros. And I'm gonna even try my team out there and see if they're available. And I'm gonna see if I can get them on the air here to tell me what's it looking like out there. Go ahead there, Mr. Producer.
Does anybody know where that's
All right, social media. This is Gilbert Andrew Garcia. A tip from Gilbert. Talk, inspiration, and prayer saying we can still early vote till Friday. Oh, man, a blast. And by the way, when you're doing these things, there's not like
Tuesday.
Cut, and we take. You just gotta go.
Right to vote.
Can you hear? I don't know if you can hear it there.
Let's go.
Well, I saw your video on your Facebook.
It's super
and
fun.
It was really good, and you did a great job. And more volume you do like your voice to go vote and go eat and everything else.
People
So thank
suffer
you,
and
Gilbert,
struggle
doing
for
that.
this right to
What an
vote.
example.
Let's go. Exercise your right. Make your voice heard.
You know what?
It's
That's
time.
what makes it a great place. And I think, if you just treat people with respect, good things happen. I'm going to just try one more of my colleagues here because they did not answer. I just want to see they're out there in the field right now. We got a couple of press passes. They got a couple of microphones and a couple of different recording devices and cameras. And I'm just seeing if I can find out what's going on out there. We're going to, of course, be going out there soon enough.
Yes.
Let me just call Connie.
lot of
Stay with
people's
me,
coming.
everybody.
How you doing that, Gilbert?
All right, Houston, this is it. Let's go vote. This is
Go
Gilbert
for it,
Andrew
Jeff.
Garcia.
And just call in again,
Gilbert,
Jeff.
talk,
We appreciate you,
inspiration,
pal.
and prayer.
Yeah,
Are we
we'll
ready
tell
to
everybody,
vote?
don't be a tonto. Vote
Are
pronto.
we ready
Don't
to
be a
claim
tonto.
our
Vote
right to
pronto.
vote? Let's go.
Come on, everybody.
Hope y'all can.
It's time to
Isn't it
vote.
good? Isn't it great?
What's the time for? Here we go.
It's actually kind of fun.
Come on.
It's hilarious.
We're late for a very important date. Let's go.
All right, Houston, here we are. We are now. This is what we're doing. People have suffered, struggled, we're beaten up, killed for this right to vote that we're going to go exercise right now in Denver Harbor.
That's why a lot of
And
people
we're not telling you
Yes.
who to vote for. You know who to vote for. But the point is this. Exercise your right to vote. Follow me.
I love it.
I like the
Come on,
energy.
gang, let's go.
Look at it.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Make sure you tell your friends to vote.
We took 3
Everybody
carlos.
vote. Your neighbors, your
Nice.
parents.
Yes.
Everybody must vote. Early vote goes till
Look at
Friday.
it.
You can vote at any polling place. Election day is Tuesday. Here we go. Come on, gang.
Now they wouldn't let us put the camera into the voting area.
Of course.
Yeah, but we wanted to.
Everybody got it done.
Yeah.
Did it. We voted. Gilbert Andrew Garcia, talk, inspiration, prayers.
The whole
Say
round
it was
trip
easy. It
took
was
us,
painless.
15
Holes were
minutes.
everywhere.
That was
It
driving
took
it.
all of 4 or 5 minutes. You feel good about yourself. No matter who you vote for, vote. What my mom said. If you don't vote, don't complain. So let's vote. Are y'all
If
ready?
you don't vote,
I
don't
love that.
complain.
There you
I
go.
love that. For sure.
Because it's so easy to complain. What about these potholes? And how come there's, I don't think states and the lights don't work and it's so easy to fall in that trap. But guess what? If you don't vote, don't complain. Do we have a caller there? Oh, we lost that caller too. That's okay. So let's play the one with us on the, what time is it? It's Astros time. Oh, I hear a ringing in the background. Say it again.
Ruby,
Okay, let's answer.
I'm calling you.
Oh, you're calling her. Our producer's calling her. Meanwhile, let's go back. What's on the agenda for the millennials now? What are the new things that y'all are going to be doing?
Yes, we have our next networking event coming up is the 18th. Looking forward to that. It's going to be phenomenal after dark networking. And we also working in one of our newest event. We're going to do a gala this year.
You are?
Yes, it's our first time doing it. I hope I didn't give it away yet.
Oh, if it's a secret, don't tell anybody, Houston.
I know, don't tell anybody. But we just, taking other steps to make it even better. So we're going to.
Well, where's the gala going to be?
We're working on it. We have a few different places. The minute that we know, obviously, we're gonna put it up there. That way, everybody can see. And
like roughly what time? What month?
It's gonna be in December.
In December. Oh, that's right around the corner.
Exactly. Yeah,
oh my God.
Only a few weeks away, so we gotta go. We have a whole team that we're working.
Do we have to dress up? Is it gonna be a dress up?
Gala. I want everybody on point, looking sharp.
Yeah, gala. Gala.
Yes.
Gala. Let's do it. Is it gala or gala?
Oh, I don't know. I say gala.
You can pronounce it both ways.
Gala.
You say tomato, I say tomato?
Yeah, like it's kind of like tomato.
Tomato? Potato?
Yeah.
No, does anybody say potato?
I don't think anyone says potato, but
you just said it.
No, I say potato, but I think it's just because of the way they're spelled. You can also pronounce it this way.
Potato, tomato. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
Gala. We're gonna have it.
I mean, here we go. We got a caller in right now. 832-570-8075. And don't forget, tomorrow is election day. I know we're all excited about Astros, but you know what? We got to come back to reality here, which is vote. Do we have Virginia there? Miss Virginia, you there?
Yes. How you doing?
Hello.
Miss Virginia, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Yeah, I want to make a comment on voting. So I voted last Friday at, I don't know if I can name the place, Adrian Garcia, Community Center, Northeast, that's where I live. And I would just like to vote. I said, there's a lot of people in my neighborhood don't vote. I'm saying, oh my Lord, I just wish all these people could vote. And I have a suggestion, but I don't know how to work. Like, to get people to vote, we need to. It's easier, much easier than it used to be, but we need to go like foot trafficking and like these, like they do at the census. Maybe go knock on doors, sign young people, even put a voting machine. I'm saying, in the neighborhood, that'll get more people, I think, to vote. And so I just, wish my candidates would win. So, and I always enjoy your show.
Well, stay with me, Virginia, because I'm just gonna cut into one of my colleagues, but I want you to stay with me, Virginia. So I'm gonna have Connie Davis. Connie, can you hear me, Connie?
Yes, hi, Gilbert. I can hear you.
Okay, all of Houston can hear you. What is going on out there at the parade right now?
Well, as you can hear, Gilbert, it's chaos out here. Everybody's super pumped, excited. Houston is alive right now. I mean, the feeling out here is electric. I mean, everybody's just so proud of our boys at the Houston Astros, and we can't wait. We're anticipating them passing by soon, so we can't wait to get this party started.
How many people are there?
Oh my God! I mean, it has to be like over 1 million people here. I mean, there's hundreds of people in this area alone. I mean, this is just a small corner that we're at, and it's like, oh my God! I'm looking right now. There's like people all in the garages. Like it must be like a 20 story garage, and there's like people lined up all along the garage, like trying to get a good glimpse of the parade down below. So everybody's excited. It's gonna be great. Can't wait for it to start.
Well, let me ask you this: have you been able to interview anybody?
Yes, we've been able to interview a few people. Some people are going nuts over here. A lot of people are very excited to be on camera. They really want to show their love for the Houston Astros. So yeah, we've interviewed probably around 4 or 5 people already.
How wonderful! Well, is our colleague Ruby Dang there?
She is. Would you like to?
Yeah, put Ruby on the phone.
1 moment.
And Virginia, stay with us, Virginia. If you have a question for any of our people, you ask them right now. I just want to cut in as this is a historic time. They're out there with millions of Houstonians. Ruby Dang, you there?
I'm here, Gilbert, and oh my goodness, what a day it is. It's beautiful out here to see all this energy and this support for Houston Astros. It's incredible.
And like, just tell us, is this like, can you see just people everywhere? Is everything orange?
It's a sea of orange, a sea of happiness, a sea of excitement and thrill. And it's wonderful to be able to share this with all our Houstonians. As we've all been in this for a while, and to be able to have this win, it's been incredible.
And are there, has the parade started yet or no?
Not yet. It hasn't started, but there's a lot of energy in the crowd, and it's wonderful to see all ages here celebrating this 2022 World Series win.
Wow. Well, you keep interviewing people and let us know what's going on, and call in. Get somebody there, and y'all call in.
We'll do that.
Thank you, Ruby. Thank you, Connie. So, Virginia, I'm coming back to you now. When you voted, how long did it take you to vote?
Well, it didn't take that long because what I did, because my leg was hurting, they brought the machine to the car the first time ever. And the young man, he helped me to, my daughter was in the car to do the machine, you have to press with both fingers. Because I'm elderly, I'm in my 70s, and it took me about maybe 15 minutes. I could have done it in
not bad.
less time than what I want to read, like some of the candidates and the judges and all that,
And
But I try to vote all the time. My daughter votes, and my son, and myself. But I usually like to get the early vote, and so I would just wish more people could vote. And I was thinking that they need to have more foot traffic. These candidates just really need to try to come up with some simpler ways. Go door to door, knocking, sign more people up. But it's just a shame, how not so many people that vote.
Well, let me ask you this, Miss Virginia. When was the first time you voted? How old were you? Were you young? Or when was the first time you voted?
Oh gosh, I was because I'm from Louisiana. So I voted probably when I was in my late 30s. Yeah.
In Louisiana?
No. I'm from Louisiana, but I voted out here for the first time.
I see.
But I've been voting over 40-some years. Yeah.
Wow. Can you imagine all the people you voted for in those 47 years?
I said over 40-some years.
Oh my goodness. Think of all those people you voted for.
Yeah. But like I can't remember, I'm in my 70s, but I try to go vote. I'm an elderly person, but I still try to go vote, because, I think about, like you say, how many people died and beat up and everything, give us the right to vote. So I just made this comment. I didn't, because I know it's a busy day, and I would have called some other day, but I know we could be on just on a Monday, and I want to, get my comment on today. But the parade is going. I said, wish there was many people could vote it or go to church like that.
Well, you got it going on, and Miss Virginia, I'm going to give you the last word. What do you want to say to Houston?
Well, be peaceful. We could be a peaceful turnout, and nothing happening, and just everybody can get together and be one happy city.
Amen. Houston, that was Miss Virginia. You gotta love her, right? She's been voting for almost 50 years, and what a treasure she is to all of us. Miss Virginia, thank you for joining. Please call again on the show. Do we have
thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, my dear. Do we have another caller there handy? We do. Go ahead and send that caller through. Go ahead and send that caller through. Do we have another caller there? Caller, are you there?
Yes.
Speak to me. What do you got?
Hey, Gilbert, this is Ernie Pinto Sandoval. I've been over here since 7 this morning.
Where are you, Ernie?
At the parade.
And tell us, is it crowded?
It's insane. You're going to have 1.5 million people is what's projected. I can already see at least close to 1 million people. You're lined up all the way from Smith to Tuam. So that's 50 blocks. It's insane.
Oh my.
And everybody's acting appropriately.
Oh my God.
And we were on Sports 610 and they said, we encourage people to vote just the way you've been asking. We talked about your shows. And then additionally, Go Astros.
Let's go.
You're supporting IWA with the Astros, and Gilbert has donated. And I wanted to say thank you because the nuns over there you're in their prayers. They are so thankful. And Altuve is amazing. He's donating to the school with you. So I just want to say, we've been over here since 7 a.m. and I'm looking forward to seeing you soon over here. And it's going to be fantastic, Gilbert, for our city. It's just such an
Woo! Well, Ernie, you got it going on. Let me ask this, Ernie. So when did you first vote? Do you remember your first vote?
Oh, yeah. Well, my dad was a precinct judge, and we used to have to go in there and stay for hours to help my dad. And my mom always forced us, seriously forced us to go. You will not be here. 10 kids, 10 kids. You will vote, period.
Well, you know what? That's what it takes. That's what got ingrained in you, and you still have it. And and we got parents. We got to ingrain those in our kids and make them go.
We embarrass our family if we don't vote. We tell somebody, so-and-so didn't vote, or they haven't voted yet in our family. It's like a big deal. If you don't vote, shame on you. I guess, what's going on? Porque so not vota. I mean, what are you doing? I mean, it's like, what's going on? And that's the way it is for our family as Hispanics. We have to stick together. We have to vote.
We've got to vote.
No question.
So, Ernie, I'm going to give it to you. What is the last word you want to say to Houston, Texas?
I want to say, go vote so we can have more parades like the Houston Astros.
Yes.
There you go. That's Ernie. Ernie, thank you for calling in. Ernie's always got a lot to say. Thank you, Ernie, for calling in. Please call in again. Do we have another caller there? We have another caller there. Let's put him through. And don't forget, callers, you can still call in. It's not too late, although it's getting late. But you guys still call in at 832-570-8075. We have a Tish. Tish, are you on the phone?
You know I am here. You know I am here on this history-making day, the day before election day.
Tish,
you're having too much fun, Gilbert. You're having too much fun.
I am, Tish. I can't contain myself right now. Let me ask you this, Tish. Are you at the parade, or where are you right now?
Yeah, not quite at the parade because I've been waiting for 30 minutes to talk to Gilbert Garcia. I just got real quick. I know you're busy with a lot of
talk
callers,
to me, Tish. Talk to me.
I just got three things to say. Gilbert, Astros, and vote.
You know what, Tish? Tish, you are so wonderful. Let me ask you this. What does voting mean to you? Why is it important to vote? I want you to tell people, why is it important to vote?
You know, Gilbert, voting is everything. I voted last Wednesday. I voted early. And when Wednesday before last, by the way, the first week of voting. And when I left out of the vote, when I got in and left out, I felt empowered. I felt like it was just an opportunity to express whatever I wanted to express for any candidate that I believe in. It gave me power. And I felt like I was on top of the world when I came out that booth. Like my vote will make a difference in this election. That's how I felt.
Yes.
Amen. Well, let me ask you this. Who first got you into knowing voting matters? I mean, how did you first vote the very first time? And who told you, you know what, you need to vote?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when I look at all of those who paved the way and all of the stories of what they went through to give us the right to vote and the opportunities, especially women and people of color and all of the challenges that we have to go through to get to this point to vote. I mean, that was just reason enough for me. And then personally, since I've been in the industry of broadcasting, it has given me a different motivation to get out and vote. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to call you and say, you know, you put your resources in getting the word out to vote. You put your resources in making people like senior citizens, like our Senior Citizens Saturday event that we've had for the last couple of years. You put your resources in making all of the seniors all around Houston. And on behalf of all of them, we want to thank you for putting your resources and investing in us, making seniors feel very, very special when they go to the polls and vote, or when you're giving them turkeys in a turkey giveaway. We wanted to thank you again so very much for the citywide Senior Citizen Saturday event of making the seniors in all of Houston feel special. And then another thing too, inviting all of them to get out and vote. And all of the seniors will, because of Gilbert Garcia and what you're making the difference in this city. And we just wanted to say thank you.
Well, you know what? Just I feel like I gotta like get on this table and jump through the screen and
Seriously.
I gotta jump through the screen and get you, and I just gotta go hug you or something. My God, that was so good, Tish. I really mean it.
We want to thank you very much, and we love you. And I tell you what, the senior citizens will never forget Gilbert Garcia. I wish you were on the ballot, because we would all be voting for Gilbert Garcia.
Well, thank you for that. You know what? You never know what the future holds. We'll put it in the Lord's hands. Tish, thank you for calling it, Tish. You're amazing.
And God bless you, Gilbert. Thank you so much for what you're doing. And vote, everybody.
Amen. Yes. Vote.
Yes.
Couldn't you feel the energy with her in that call?
Yes.
My God, I just was like, I was ready to.
She needs to be invited to the show.
Yeah, I need to go jump through that camera right there. But we have another caller right now. Yes. We have another caller. Who do we have? We have a Mr. Claude. Come in. Claude, how are you? Claude, are you there?
Gilbert, how are you?
I'm doing well. I apologize. You haven't heard from me because you know what? I've been upside down, and you know what? We need to say a prayer for my scheduler. She had a car wreck.
I know.
Oh my!
Are we on the air?
We are on the air, but
yeah, man. I heard about it, and I was disappointed. I told Tish. I just heard Letitia. Let me tell you, there were over 500 seniors at that event. And every time she mentioned your name, people applauded. So I just want to echo, everything that she said was accurate. I was there. My group actually sung, and they were all appreciative of the resources that you put, into that event, the turkeys as well as the sponsorship. So you're appreciative, and we're going to pray for your scheduler. And I told Tish that that's probably why you weren't there, because I've had several people call me about different things since you weren't able to come.
Yeah, my whole last 4 days have been upside down, frankly.
Right.
But did I tell you this one, Claude? So we gave money to Incarnate Word Academy, the school, and you don't really think much about it, this and that. At the end of the day, there's like 4 or 5 couples. And Dee and I, my wife Dee and I, are having dinner with Jose Altuve and his wife tonight.
So exciting.
Can you believe that?
I can't wait to see pictures.
Can you believe that one? Oh my gosh.
It's unbelievable, man.
And who would have thought that here we are, because I think it was postponed and it kind of got kicked around, and all of a sudden it's during the World Series, and all of a sudden we're World Series champions, and now he's out there on some big float in front of 1.5 million people, and then he's going to have, a taco with me. I mean, I don't know. Life works in mysterious ways. But Mr. Claude Cummings, what do you think about all this? I want to get back to something serious if I could, which is I talked earlier how disappointing the numbers are on voting. When you think about all the people who struggled, who died, who fought, and I had a wonderful thing I put out on social media, Claude, about when you had your father's poll tax receipt.
Right,
and people need to see that, because to be able to just see a piece of paper that says, are you white or colored, and how much you got to pay $1.50 to vote. I mean, that's how it used to be. And so now that it's open and for all of us, we just take it for granted. So Claude, what do you say about all that?
Yeah. So a couple of things. I believe that there's just so much negativity that's taking place that people feel like both parties are now not working in their best interest. Let me just say this. That's incorrect thinking. Now, I'm partisan, and so I'll be first to tell you that during the pandemic, when we were going through that, who put food on your table? Who made sure you got vaccines? Who made sure that you were wearing a mask? It was Democrats, that were doing that. And in this very state, where we have a leadership that is now taking away women's right to have control over their bodies, that's making it harder for us to vote, that has refused to take $100 billion in Medicare expansion in this state, which would help people of color, a leadership that has allowed children to be killed, like those 17 that were killed, children that were killed in Uvalde, and 2 teachers that were still allowing weapons of war on the street, that is allowing anyone to be able to purchase a weapon with no background check and anything like that. When you think about those kind of things and suppressing our right to vote, that should enough make us all understand clearly that we should be voting. Well, there's some in this state that want to take us back, Gilbert, to the days of the 50s and 60s when it was more difficult to vote instead of making it easier to vote. Well, so I think it's horrible. But let me give y'all some encouraging news. I believe our numbers are trending in the right direction. I really do. And if we have a good turnout on tomorrow, we could very well have some shocking news in this state, statewide, because numbers are really moving in a better direction. How do we win? We win if we have a massive turnout on tomorrow.
I love it.
Amen. And no matter what, Houston, vote. No matter what, no matter where you think the numbers are, no matter what, at the end of the day, make your voice heard. Because, another thing that gets me, Claude, is, when you think about the labor movement, and obviously you're a labor leader, so it's easier probably for me as a civilian, I guess, if that's the right word to say this. When you think about the labor movement, my goodness, every working person should be part of a union. My goodness, if you think about the unions and what they've done. I mean, where do you think healthcare, working to get, and you have healthcare came from, dental care came from, the 5-day work week, where did that come from? Paid vacation, paid leave, all of those things came from the working unions that came together and said, we need to have certain basic things and necessities of life. And they put that in the negotiation of everything. So we really build a standard of living for the working people. Am I right, Claude?
Gilbert, let me make it real simple for you. The middle class was built by labor.
There you go. That's what I'm looking for.
There would be no middle class in this country if it wasn't for labor unions. If there was no labor union, you'd have very rich people, you have very poor. There would be no in between. But labor unions are the ones who built the middle class, and that's why it's so important that we hold on to the Senate. As a matter of fact, not only do we need to hold on to the Senate, we need a couple more votes, because we can pass the PRO Act, which is passed in the House, but is sitting in the Senate. That would make it much easier. The PRO Act would make it much easier for people that are in a job to be able to organize. It takes away a lot of the restrictions. It takes away a lot of the harassment from management when we're trying to organize workers. And we need that bill to pass. And we would have an even larger and more stronger middle class if we could get that act passed.
Well, amen to that. When I think about things right now, Claude, is young people, kids in school, just think about from their perspective. First they're at school, then they didn't go to school for 2 years. And then now the public schools, they want to swab them so they can get their DNA. I mean, it's like, why do you need that? Well, in case, there's a killing and they kill a bunch of young kids and the kids see kids being, killed. And I mean, imagine what they're thinking, the confusion. Books are removed from the library. What can you teach? What can you not teach? It's like, wait a minute. What happened to just, all the sort of normal things that were part of growing up and normal things that were part of school? In my view, if something's true, it should be taught.
That's exactly right. We have extremists. We have extremists that are in charge in this state and in other places. And history is history. I mean, the idea that slaves were involuntarily moved instead of captured and put in slavery, to teach that is deceptive. Just like a lot of these ads that are being run. Gilbert, I will tell you that the amount of money that has been spent in Harris County by the Republican Party to try to power grab has been absolutely ridiculous. It's unheard of, the type of money that they are spending, and none of it is about doing anything better for this community. It's all about just holding on to power. Now, one ad has been said by the candidates, Republican candidates, about what they're going to do.
Nothing.
Well,
everything is deceptive and negative.
What's-
So continue to vote. We're asking you all to get out and vote tomorrow. Push 2 and be through. Go down the ballot. If you're not going to know every candidate, but if you push 2, you get every Democratic candidate.
Push 2 and be through. You know, one thing, Claude, I found interesting is when you look at the amount of money that's being raised, but some of that money is being donated by very few people. I mean, in other words, certain people are just donating huge $500,000 and things, staggering sums of money.
Right.
It's just, when does it end and where does it end?
Man, we need some laws that will control spending.
Yep.
That's what we need. We need some law, and Congress has tried to address that, but because we didn't have the votes in the Senate, we could not get it passed. But we need some election reform. Simple as that. It's just when the Supreme Court ruled that corporations were people, because remember that's how this started,
right?
When the Supreme Court ruled on Citizens United, it gave corporations who have much more money than regular workers in this country. It gave them the right to be able to buy elections. That's basically what has happened. We need election reform laws that will address that. But even with the money they have, we have more people than they have.
Well,
that will vote. But our folks just have to get out and vote.
Well, no matter what, Houston, vote and make vote a family affair, a culture. We got to develop a culture of voting where just like we all get together for Thanksgiving, we all like to do our Halloween. We all have our ofrendas for our relatives that have passed, and we all have our Christmas tree. Well, let's just make voting one of those things that we all do.
Each one of my children, once they became eligible to vote, I registered them and I went to the poll with them. Every grandchild that I've had, once they got old enough to register and vote, I took them to the poll to vote.
That's what? That is a wonderful.
All doing the same thing.
Claude, that is a wonderful thing. Did everybody hear that?
Yes.
What Claude Cummings, and if you don't know him, just pretend you don't know him. The point is, here's a gentleman out there that says voting is important. And so to make sure my kids start knowing it's important, I'm going to make it a tradition that every time they become eligible, I'm going to get them and I'm going to take them to vote. What a glorious thing. And you know what will happen? They'll remember that forever.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of them are voting.
Yeah, and
all of them are voting.
And then they'll do it with, and Claude, they'll do it with their kids who will do it with their kids. Holy cow.
That's a good tradition to start.
It's a wonderful tradition.
Yes.
Well, Claude, I'm going to give you the last word here before we sign off. We're going to try to hit the parade live here in a moment.
Yes.
I have 2 crews out there that are recording interviews and things for next week. We're going to record it and we'll play it and broadcast it next week, or at least that's the plan. But I want to give you the last word there, Claude.
Well, my last word is this, Gilbert. And again, I just want to thank you. We haven't known each other that long, but the work that you've done in the community, the philanthropy, I'd call it a philanthropist, you have become in supporting churches and supporting events and supporting children. What you've done with the Children's Museum and other things is absolutely amazing to me and to others. And Tish was exactly right when she said earlier that the people there were just really thankful at her event. And what we need in this city is was someone with a vision, someone that will be supportive of those in the community that are trying to do good things, not to just put money in their pockets and get contracts, but are really doing work to help lives better for people in communities that don't necessarily have the resources that they would have to do some of the things that you've helped support. So I just want to thank you for that. I pray that God will continue to bless you and your family, and whatever it is you have in the future. I believe that you're on the right road to be successful. Okay.
Amen to that. I'm hugging you in cyberspace. I know you can't see me, but I'm hugging you right now. And I'll call you this afternoon. We're going to try to hit that parade. I've got this dinner thing tonight, but I'll call you soon and we'll catch up. And Houston, please give that man a round of applause if you're out there, because that's what it takes. Go vote, go vote, go vote.
Go vote.
Thank you, Mr. Claude Cummings. We have about, I think, 30 seconds here. Why don't we play that great home run again and place 1 or 2 of those? And Houston, be on our stations next week. I am hoping that we will have great footage of recording people and recording some of this parade, and we'll use it intermittently with some comments. Of course, we are on 5 stations, KWWJ, KYOK, KCOH, Aliento Radio, Sangeet Radio, and get ready, I'm going to do another station, and this is, of course, Gilbert Andrew Garcia, a tip from Gilbert, talk inspiration prayer, and, of course, my number to call in anytime during the show is 832-570-8075. Like those Astros, boy, we are ready to celebrate. Call in, go vote. I'm out of here.
Thank you for having us, Gilbert.
Woo!
Bye. Take care, guys.
It's all about those millennials.
Today,
I want to thank Lori Dalgo again. She has a real job doing debt relief for people, which is great. Chief of staff for the millennials, and of course, Miss Ava Acosta. I just think you're going to do something great in your life. I can feel it already. I can't wait.
Today is all about Houston. Tomorrow is all about voting.
Woo!
Yes. Thank you for having us.
And we'll see you next time.
See you at the top.
Go Astros.
In a series, the better chances start going to the hitter. And you saw he knew right away. Everybody in this crowd knew right away. And unfortunately, Alvarado knew right away. You're not supposed to be able to hit him up there. No. I don't think I've ever.
This is Gilbert Andrew Garcia. Listen to my radio show, A Tip from Gilbert. Talk, inspiration, and prayer every Monday from 11 a.m. till noon on Houston's gospel leader, KWWJ. 1360 AM and streaming live on kwwj.org. Listen on the legendary KYOK 1140 AM and streaming live on kyokradio.org. KCOH 1230 AM, The Source. On Sangeet Radio 95.1 FM 1460 AM. And Aliento Radio 101.7 FM and 1540 AM. Call in at 832-570-8075 and follow me on social media. See you then. Because normally we stick around, as you know, but we're heading to the parade.
Yeah.
And make sure you vote. This is it. Tomorrow. And we'll see you next time. And we'll see you
at the very top.
at the very top.
Bye.